So 58% of the American population would be included for this new $2,000 stimulus check, or, as the president likes to call it, the $2,000 dividend payment. And I'm pulling that number directly from an article that's breaking down remarks from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent about the income threshold he mentioned, combined with Census Bureau data on what Americans are actually earning right now. Here's why this matters. We've been hearing about this $2,000 payment for months now, the dividend, the stimulus, the rebate, whatever you want to call it, and everyone's asking the same questions. Is it really coming in 2026? When will it actually hit? And most importantly, who's actually going to be included? Because there's a huge difference between what sounds good in a headline and who's actually going to see that money in their account. I've been tracking these payments since the president first floated this idea back in early November, and I can tell you the key detail that nobody's talking about clearly enough. This is based entirely on your income. That's it. It doesn't matter if you're working or not. Doesn't matter if you file a tax return. Doesn't matter if you're on Social Security or living on fixed income benefits. The only thing that matters is what your income is compared to the threshold they set. But here's the thing that's causing all the confusion. The way they calculate household income versus tax return income is completely different, and understanding that difference will tell you exactly whether you're in that 58% or not. Let me show you what's actually happening here. The article I'm referencing talks about 42% of the population not being included, which means 58% would be included. I'm framing it that way because most people want to know if they're getting the money, not if they're being excluded. Back on November 10th or 11th, right after the president posted about this $2,000 dividend payment for everybody except high-income earners, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was out doing interviews. He mentioned that income thresholds would probably be under $100,000. That's not an official number, by the way. He just threw it out there as a general benchmark. But according to Census Bureau data from 2025, about 42% of households earn over $100,000, which is honestly higher than I expected. Now here's where it gets interesting, and this is the part people are getting completely wrong. Census data is based on households, but the distribution of these $2,000 payments isn't based on households. It's based on tax return income, whether somebody actually files a return or not. Let me give you a real example to make this clear. I know a family, a household, with 6 or 7 people living in it. It's a mother and father in their mid-60s, a daughter who's about 35, and 3 sons in their late 20s and early 30s. All the adults are working. Collectively, between all 6 of them, they're probably earning well over $100,000. You don't have to make much when there are 6 adults, maybe $20,000 each, and you're already past that threshold. If you looked at this as a household, they wouldn't qualify because they earn over $100,000 together. But here's the thing, they don't all file the same tax return. The mother and father file a joint return together. The daughter files her own individual return. The 3 sons each file their own individual returns. Individually, I seriously doubt any of them earn over $100,000. So on that basis, they'd all earn significantly under the threshold, making each of them eligible. But if you looked at them as a collective household, they'd be over the limit. See the difference? They don't determine this based on your household. They determine it based on tax return income that would be reported on a tax return. Now you might be thinking I'm contradicting myself because I said at the beginning you don't need to file a tax return. And you're right, you don't. But here's why. Whether you file a tax return or not, the IRS and Treasury already know everything about you. They know how much money you earn down to the penny. They already have that information. So whether you file or not, they've got a pulse on your income. So according to this article and the census data, they're talking about incomes under $100,000. But we're still waiting for official guidance from the administration. When that comes out, it's going to be based on individual income or married couple income, the way someone would file a federal tax return if they filed one. Not state level, federal level. Think about your own situation right now. Whether you're working full-time, part-time, not working at all, living on Social Security benefits, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If you're an individual, ask yourself this one question. Is your income below, let's say, $75,000 a year? That's it. That's all you need to know. If you're a married couple and you would file a joint return if you were filing, is your combined income below $150,000 a year? That's the question. You don't have to tell me, just think about it for yourself. Those are the income thresholds I actually anticipate them to announce when the official proposal comes out. Here's why. These are the common thresholds they've used over the years when they've distributed stimulus payments, economic impact payments, dividend payments, anything like this. They've generally used $75,000 for individuals and $150,000 for married couples. Scott Bessent saying $100,000 is nice to have as a benchmark, but I don't think that's going to be the official threshold. I think it'll be lower. Probably those $75,000 and $150,000 numbers. Honestly, if it were up to me, I'd say it should be even lower than that. Maybe $50,000 or $60,000 for individuals and $100,000 or $120,000 for married couples. But that's just my opinion. Now remember, it's not about filing a tax return. It's not about working. It's not about jumping through all these hoops that people make it sound like. It's income-based. Period. Kevin Hassett, the White House economic advisor, was out in an interview on December 21st, and I posted a video about it on December 22nd. He said he anticipates the official proposal to come out early in 2026. Well, guess where we are? Early 2026. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see an official proposal on this sooner rather than later. And when that proposal comes out, it'll tell us the exact income thresholds, the real ones, not just Scott Bessent's off-the-cuff $100,000 comment. Here's what's not getting enough attention in all of this. The 58% number is based on Census Bureau household data, but that's not how the payments will actually be distributed. The IRS doesn't care about your household. They care about your individual or joint filing status. That means a household that looks like it earns too much might actually have multiple people in it who all qualify individually. Or you could have two people living together who aren't married, both earning $80,000, and they'd both qualify even though their combined household income is $160,000. The system doesn't look at who you live with. It looks at how you'd file taxes, or how the IRS already has your income recorded if you don't file. This is also why people on Social Security benefits are almost certainly going to qualify, even if they live in a household with working adults. Your Social Security income is tracked separately by the IRS. If you're getting $20,000 or $30,000 a year in benefits, you're way under any reasonable threshold they'd set. The other thing people aren't talking about is timing. Even if they announce this proposal in the next few weeks, there's still the process of getting it passed, funded, and actually distributed. The IRS would need time to process payments, probably starting with people who have direct deposits set up, then moving to paper checks. We're looking at weeks or months between announcement and money actually hitting accounts. So here's what you need to know. Yes, there's a real proposal for a $2,000 payment, and based on the numbers being discussed, about 58% of Americans would likely qualify. The threshold Scott Bessent mentioned was under $100,000, but I expect the actual official thresholds to be closer to what we've seen before, $75,000 for individuals and $150,000 for married couples. It's based on income, not on whether you work, file taxes, or anything else. The IRS already knows your income whether you file or not. And it's based on individual or joint filing status, not household income. That's a huge distinction. A household of 6 adults might collectively earn over the threshold, but each person individually could qualify. We're still waiting for the official proposal. Kevin Hassett said it would come out early 2026, and we're in early 2026 right now, so it could be any day. When it comes out, you'll know the exact income limits, the exact payment amounts, and the timeline for distribution. If your income is under those thresholds I mentioned, you're almost certainly going to qualify. If you're close to the threshold, you'll need to wait and see what the official numbers are. And if you're way over, you're probably not getting this payment. If this was helpful and you want updates when the official proposal comes out, go ahead and subscribe. I'll be covering this as soon as we get real details from the administration. And if you have questions about your specific situation, drop them in the comments. I read through them and they help me figure out what to cover in future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.